Hello, wonderful world of YouTube. It is your girl SwimmstaGal coming at you guys with another ink subscription unboxing. This is going to be the Atlas Stationers Hollywood subscription box. I do believe it is a mystery ink subscription. I've had it since they first came out with the original box, and I'm super excited to unbox this one. Now, I'm not going to lie, I did see spoilers for this one, mainly because I had canceled it because I had come up with a couple of doubles in the month prior to this one. So for the July box, I had some inks I already did have that I did end up gifting because, why not share the ink love? So I was a little hesitant to get this month. So I was like, okay, let me see what they got and then I'll get some, which is why this video is coming at a little bit later than it would have had I gotten it when it just released. So I went ahead and subscribed again. I said, you know what? This was a good box. If I get doubles, I'll go ahead and just gift them to friends I'm trying to enable. So we're going to keep it that way. And I'm not gonna lie to you. I got it just for this one ink because at the end of the day, you do get a really good deal on them. I think with the shipping, if you don't get like $75 worth of stuff, it comes out to $51 for the box. You're getting 4 inks, so in honesty, you're getting them for like what, $13 an ink, which is a good price because aside from the little, which one is this? The Monteverde USA. All of these retail for more than $13. So let's go ahead and crack them open. And we're going to go ahead and look at these inks one by one. So the first ink that we have, and this is the one, like I said, I fell in love with when I saw, I believe it's Carrots and Olive doing the swatches. I'm going to have her link down below if you're interested in watching her video. Is the Sunset one. So this is a Pearl series from Dominant Industries. Now, the only thing I really have against Dominant Industries is that they made me cut the label, and I don't want to cut the label. We're gonna have to. We're gonna have to cut it. Let me get my handy dandy scissors. And we're gonna cut away. Oop. If you're using scissors at home, please be careful. Don't be clumsy like me. All right, we got it open. And it's really cute because you get a little baggie for your ink. The ink itself, look at that. I think it's like copper shimmer. It is still nice. And you get a little pipette to use to like pull up the ink. I'm going to separate that to the side and set the boxes off to the side as well. See, this is where like I'm telling you, like, I don't want to have to like perforate it, but we're gonna perforate. There we go. The other one we get is Sailor. I don't know if this is the Manio inks, but it's in Hana Gokuro. Is it gonna tell me right here? Is it gonna tell me right here? It might be. We'll set this aside as well. This one's actually really cute looking. We have Robert Oster Blood Moon. This one doesn't seem to be a shimmer, so that's nice. And we have, last but not least, Viral Opal by Monteverde. And I'm not gonna lie, I think I was sleeping on the Monteverde brand because I wasn't really getting any of their inks. Most of the inks I have from them are inks I received through purchases I've made at Atlas Stationers. Sometimes when they pick your order out on their lives, they do send out a free ink, and for the most part, I've gotten Monteverde inks. So we're gonna go ahead and take the seal off of that one. And then we're gonna go into my ink journal and we're gonna swatch these babies. Oop, oop. It's okay, it didn't break. We're gonna go ahead and snake on. How am I currently inked? Where do I have these at? These go over here. And to swatch these, I'm going to be using a folded nib. I've seen this one on TikTok being used, and it's a really nice way to pick up a good amount of ink and swatch. I'm going to do all the ones that don't have shimmer first. So I know for a fact Hanagokuro doesn't have any, Fire Opal doesn't have any. Doesn't look like Blood Moon does, so we're going to leave Sunset by Dominant Industry last. And we're going to go ahead and do Hanagokuro first because these tend to have like a shading property to it, and I want to give the ink enough time to dry. So we're just going to dip the folded nib in there. And once it's dipped, you're just going to... And that is actually a lot of ink that picked up. Honestly, more than I was expecting it to. But that's fine, right? And I don't know why, but the Sailor inks always have like especially like their Manio series. Is it the Manio one? It's one of these series that smell like paint whenever you open them. I don't know why. It's always been kind of one of those like, that's interesting ones for me. And then we're gonna go in with Fire Opal. I'm just gonna make sure I clean off the folded nib. Make sure that there's no residual ink left in there because that was a hefty sample. Now we're gonna go in with the next one. Wow, that is a really beautiful like blood orange, I would say, or red orange. Last, oh no, not last. Almost last is gonna be Blood Moon by Robert Oster. Just in case it is a shimmer, we're gonna shake it up. I don't see any shimmer at the bottom though, so I think it's safe to say it's not a shimmer. And what I like about these inks is that the little hole or the area where you place your pen in is big enough for me to actually use the folded nib, because let me tell you, Ferris wheel press is not. So I usually have to put them in like a sample vial to be able to use a folded nib if that's the way I want to go about swatching them. This one kind of a little bit reminds me of, I think it's Rider's Blood, or is it Ox Blood from Diamine. Trust of off of the way that the ink is going down, like the color, definitely might change my opinion once it dries. And the one I've been looking forward to the most is going to be Sunset by Dominant Industry. So we're going to go ahead and clean this off. That one does have a shimmer, so there's two ways you can do it. You can shake it or you can roll it in your hands to get the shimmer going. With Dominant Industries, I find that I kind of just like doing it this way where you flip the bottle upside down. Make sure it's capped because, ladies and gentlemen, I spilled a bottle because I forgot that I had loosened the cap. So it was a bunch of ink everywhere. So just be mindful. And once you see that the ink has been incorporated into your, not the ink, the shimmer is incorporated into the ink, you should be good to swatch it from there. So I'm just going to go ahead and flip it back. Use my folded nib and let it do its job. This is a super stunning ink. So beautiful. All right, we're gonna let those inks dry and then we'll come back to take a closer look at them. I will let you guys see them dry a little bit better. So I'm gonna raise, unzoom you guys in, or zoom you guys out, I mean to say, and we'll get to see them dry. All right, it's been a hot minute while I was trying to leave these out to dry. Most of them are completely dry. There's just some over here on the Fire Opal and a little bit on the Hanagokoro that isn't 100% dry, but we're going to go ahead and take a closer look at these beautiful inks. I'm going to go ahead and zoom you guys back in all the way. And we're going to go ahead and start off with Sailor. This is actually from the Urameku line of Sailor. So these ones are not fast drying. They will take a while. As you guys saw, this is one of the ones that took the longest to dry. However, I guess depending on the paper type you use is the effect you're going to get. I'm using Tomoe River paper. If I'm not mistaken, it's the 52 GSM one. And I actually got a bit of sheening. So what sheening is that when you shift the paper, you get like a different color of sorts or a sheen per se when depending on the way the light hits it. So wherever you have like a higher body, because it looks like you also have shading, so shading and sheening right now with the Hanagokoro, which is really pretty. Honestly, I wasn't expecting it to sheen. Like the base is purple and the sheen that I'm getting is kind of like a rust color. So that's very interesting. Actually, I would not mind inking that with in a pen, but because of the smell, I'll probably just stick to using it with a dip pen. The next one on the list is going to be Fire Opal from Monteverde, and it is actually a really nice orange color. As you guys can see here, where there was a little bit less of the ink going down, you have a lighter variant of the orange, and then you have a darker, more like brick red orange going on, where there was a really a lot of ink. You see, like where the shading really happened. So again, this one does have shading, as you guys can see. So you'll have like areas depending on how the ink goes on your paper that are darker to other areas on the line. This is going to be Robert Oster's Blood Moon. This one has more of a purple undertone. So I know earlier I had said when it went down on the paper, it was reminiscent of either ox blood or rider's blood from Diamine. But once it dries, it is a really dark, like burnt purple, if that's a color. It's coming off a little bit more kind of like a violet on camera, but in person it is a wee bit darker than what you're seeing going down. Is a little bit more kind of like the base of this one, but yeah, it's actually a really nice color. This one doesn't seem to have any other properties. It went down pretty much smooth and consistent throughout the whole thing. The only areas where you see like slight waving or what could be considered shading is where I moved the pen. But here, where there wasn't as much, like movement, you get a very consistent ink flow. Same thing with the line. There isn't a lot of variance. So I think this is one of those inks that doesn't have any special properties to it. But even then, the ink itself is very, very stunning. These actually are like the perfect fall inks. And I kind of regret not swatching these before I did my current ink, but it's all good. And lastly, this is going to be the one I was looking forward to the most, the Dominant Industry one in the color Sunset. Sunset. This one has a very like light lilac slash lavender base. You do have like a rose gold shimmer. It does shade, as you guys can see. So you guys get shading where the ink tends to pull a little bit more. I did have a little bit of smudging when I turned on the fan to try to get the inks to dry a little bit faster. The page kind of flew and it smudged, but it's fine. You guys can see a little bit more of like that shading aspect right here. In the areas where you have a lot of ink, it does even kind of give off the effect of a sheen because the shimmer is just that reflective when the light hits it. I would say that out of all of these, this one is still the one I'm like chef's kiss. I cannot wait to ink this up. But a nice surprise is actually gonna be this one. Like I wasn't expecting to like that one so much, but the way that it's kind of like sheening in the light, and it's like a wet writer, so I'll probably put it in an extra fine to see how it does, just because I do like wet writers, but sometimes you want something that isn't so wet because this is gonna be a juicy ink. This one also is gonna be a juicy ink because they took a while to dry, but that's all great. But other than that, you guys, thank you guys so much for joining me for this Atlas Stationers subscription box unboxing. Um, keep a lookout for the month of October's box. I should be getting that soon, so I'll do a video on that one, hopefully on time this time, because this time I was like, you know what, we're gonna go ahead and just trust the process, and if I get an extra, I get an extra. It's all good in the hood, you know what I mean? Thank you guys again. If you guys like this video and would like to watch more videos, don't forget to like and subscribe. If there's something that, or an ink in specific that you want me to go more into detail with other paper types, please let me know down in the comments. Again, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'll see you guys in the next one.